In the past, Buddhist monks and ancient yogis always stressed about the importance of one word: observation. To observe something, you need to pay close attention to it. When you focus your attention in the right way, you can make the specific outcomes you desire happen in your life. In this video, I will explain how you can use your attention to shape the reality you want. Learning to control where you direct your attention is one of the most powerful things you can do as a creator of your reality. So, let's get started. To understand how your attention affects the reality that comes into being, you need to grasp how energy flows. Whenever you feel stuck in some situations or relationships, it's essential to figure out where the energy is not flowing as it should. When energy can't move freely, it becomes stuck, leading to repetitive circumstances. Your attention directs the flow of energy. Where you focus your attention, energy follows. What's less known is that your attention can be categorized into two main types: polar and non-polar. Polar attention has the power to both attract and repel elements of reality. Think of problems and solutions as two sides of the same coin, and polar attention can either draw something to you or push it away. In addition to polar attention, there's non-polar attention, which is neutral and can dissolve elements of reality. When it comes to manifesting quantum events in your life, consider two types of polar attention: positive and negative attention. When you think positively about something, the universe doesn't care about the true nature of your attention. It cares about the content. If you dislike something, you will attract more of it. Similarly, if you love something, you'll draw more of it into your life. This is the point. As human beings, we have learned to operate in a state of fear and survival. It's in our nature to prioritize survival, and the most powerful way to do that is to avoid threats. So, we have learned to live in a mode of protection, avoiding conflicts and risks. Many of us have been shaped this way due to our conditioning. Because of this, we tend to experience more of the things that worry us. Think about what you see in the news. Fear is often more prevalent than anything else. This is how external influences can control and impact us. Some people are willing to go to war to protect something they love and are proud of. While this is admirable, it can sometimes make them oblivious to what's really happening. It's easy to manipulate people into taking certain actions when they are angry, just as it is when they are scared. So fear, anger, and pride are the states that society keeps us trapped in, directing our attention toward actions we may not always want to take. For most people, they keep experiencing the same types of relationships because they are holding on to past traumas. They focus on avoiding the kind of relationship they had before, which is why they keep attracting the same type of partner. Many individuals are haunted by a past event and fear they hadn't dealt with it properly. This is where neutral or non-biased attention comes into play, but we will talk more about that later. For now, it's important to understand that there are two different types of attention: positive and negative. Life cares about what we are paying more attention to. If we focus on how certain situations offers an opportunity for personal growth, we can overcome the challenge and become stronger. However, if we decide to view the same situation negatively and constantly think, "This is awful, it's going to be a disaster, and there's no way out," then we will end up attracting the energy that matches this negative mindset. It's crucial to understand that life doesn't distinguish between our positive and negative thoughts. It reacts to what we focus on. To put it simply, if we believe that something will help us grow, our life's path will lean towards the positive. We will see more of the things we feel good about. On the other hand, if we have a negative perspective on something and think it's bad, then negative outcomes are more likely. Let's think about this for a moment. When we are feeling positive, our mind interprets things positively. Conversely, when we're feeling negative, our mind interprets things negatively. But how do we determine if a situation is truly bad? Often, we just assume it's bad out of fear. Fear tends to make us more fearful. When we experience a certain emotion, we naturally try to find reasons to validate that feeling. This is because our emotions make us feel alive and our survival instincts kick in. So, when we are in a state of fear, we start listing all the things that could potentially go wrong, and this negative focus begins to shape our thoughts and perceptions. The main problem here is that our emotions and thoughts are connected. When you feel something bad in your heart, your mind starts thinking negative things, and these thoughts can make those negative feelings become a big part of your life. But the important thing to remember is that if you look at what's happening without judging it as good or bad, it won't have as much power over you. For instance, when something unpleasant occurs, you can just observe it and accept it without labeling it as good or bad. You will continue on your life path, and the situation will eventually go away. Many people struggle with their past traumas and fears by paying too much attention to them in a negative way. When something bad happened in the past, we often try to avoid it because the feelings are strong and we don't know how to handle them. But when we avoid or resist these feelings, they tend to stick around and become even stronger, causing more problems for us. Throughout our lives, we often resist or push away things from the past that we didn't like. This can make us feel stuck in a place of hurt or pain. As a result, similar situations that remind us of this hurt keep happening. But it's important to remember that there are two ways to look at any situation. It's up to you to choose how you see things. Now that you get this, let's talk about how to use it to create the reality you want effectively. The first thing we need to do is to mix two different kinds of attention. Paying attention to what we don't like negative and paying attention to what we do want positive. This is important, so pay close attention. There are 3 main steps to make this work. If you follow them, the energy you spend on negative thoughts will decrease, leaving you with more energy to focus on creating the positive reality you desire. So, step 1 is acceptance. When you find yourself in a tough situation or at the lowest point in your life, it's essential to acknowledge that it's happening. Acceptance means you're not fighting against it. You can't accept and resist at the same time. Acceptance helps you let go of the struggle. Most importantly, you are not adding energy to your worst fears. You need to accept that these fears exist and see how life continues despite them. You are no longer consumed by your fears, and this is vital. Many people worry that accepting their worst fears will make them come true, but that's not the case. In fact, when you accept them, you stop giving them power. If you keep resisting, you are essentially feeding those fears, making them more likely to happen. If you accept them and step aside, you allow room for a different, more positive reality to manifest. Start by fully accepting your current situation, no matter how challenging it may be. Imagine it's happening and see how life goes on despite it. You are no longer haunted by your worst fears, and this is fundamental. The second step is to recognize how unfavorable events could potentially be blessings in disguise. Any event that occurs is neutral. It's neither positive nor negative. We make it positive or negative by how we pay attention to it. Instead of seeing it as bad, we can ask ourselves how it might benefit us or be an advantage in our lives. We can look at it as an opportunity for something good to come out of it. What does it mean when something is a blessing in disguise? Sometimes, an event happens to protect us. Maybe there's something bad in that situation that God or the universe is preventing us from experiencing. Have you ever thought about that? Like any event in your life, maybe this is happening for a reason. If you hadn't missed that bus, the bus might have been in an accident or something bad could have happened, and the universe is trying to protect you. How do you know this? It's easier to understand this when you have already accepted the situation. If you are in a state where the wound is still fresh and something bad has just happened, don't expect yourself to look for hidden blessings. Just reach a point of acceptance and understand that it really happened. When you reach a more neutral state, you can start to think about how this situation could potentially be positive. The final step is to continually focus your attention on what you want. When you become really good at doing this, nothing can stop you. This process determines the path your life follows and the events you experience. It all comes down to where you place your attention. Many ancient cultures talk about the importance of attention, paying attention to something, and observing. Here, we are combining both. We use neutral attention, move into acceptance, think about potential hidden benefits, and finally, reach a positive state of equanimity. This process is one of the most powerful tools we can use to create the reality we desire. When you can steer your focus effectively, you can make the life you desire. So, the message I want to share today is this. If you are feeling down about yourself right now, it's okay to acknowledge that. Once you are in a balanced state of mind, you can concentrate on what you want instead. But if you try to hide or push away your feelings, they will come back to trouble you later. At this point, even seemingly positive self-talk in the mirror might be a way of avoiding those feelings. This 3-step method, when used consistently, can completely transform your life. When you learn to accept your feelings, redirect your focus, and choose what you want, you stop wasting your energy on resistance. Remember, accepting your feelings doesn't mean giving up. It means understanding your current reality. In this state of acceptance, your vision becomes clearer and the path to your goals becomes more evident. Embracing the worst possible outcome releases the energy that you used to spend fighting against it. This is when your focus becomes the driving force for change. You shift your attention toward your goals, and your reality changes accordingly. As co-creators of our own reality, we have the power to define our destinies. True transformation begins when we choose to focus on what truly matters in our lives. I now need to thank you for your listening to this important message. If you found the video useful, consider to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring content.